We have about 800 breeding sheep and about 50-60 suckler cows. But in addition to that, we're involved with a range of different captive breeding projects, a range of either native species or former native species, to provide animals for reintroduction into different parts of the British Isles. I've worked with water voles for approximately the last 30 years, and we've been involved in reintroduction of the species quite widely into a number of different locations in the British Isles. The Northumberland Wildlife Trust contacted us to have a chat about whether it would be feasible to reintroduce water voles into the watershed of Kielder. We went up to have a look at it. We thought it was perfectly suitable upland water vole habitat. So we've been catching animals obviously up in the north of England to provide the breeding stock which genetically are as near to the former population of the Kielder watershed as possible, and we're also using animals from Scotland because we know from their DNA that they're very similar to what formerly existed there.
So I'm just putting in straw bale, which they'll use to make their own burrowing systems and houses for them whilst they're breeding. So we've just made up the pens ready to put out a breeding pen. We've just got to go and get the voles and put them out and then leave them to it.
My involvement really began in the early 1990s. Surveys undertaken by the Vincent Wildlife Trust demonstrated that the species was believed to have lost about 97% of its British range. There were a whole range of different conservation initiatives, and I was involved with the captive breeding part of it to look at whether you could come up with a system for keeping the animals adequately that resulted in them producing large numbers of babies, and then whether those babies would actually survive in a wild situation.
A lot of these have got mended corners on them where they've chewed out and then it's been mended with wire or fiberglass. They're very good at it, and some of them have to end up in glass tanks if they're really, really bad chewers.
They've been overwintered in the buildings that are here, and right now we're pairing the animals up so they're males and females of equal weights. They're going out into the breeding cages behind the farm, and those animals will start breeding really within the next few days to produce many litters of babies that we will then to return to the Kielder project through the course of this year and for the next 5 years to come.
This one here is a female vole. You're looking for the female and the male to be quite similarly sized. So this one's 160 grams. He's a nice male and he weighs 180 grams. So they'll be going together. No! Come on, you, in the tube. Why don't I choose this one? You come out. No. Oh, you're bad, you are. Oh wait, we're being filmed. You're meant to behave. Right, you. This is going in this time. There. That's better. I'm just going to put these in this pen and then I'm going to let them go. So I'm just checking they're both pair 9, as pair 9 male and a pair 9 female. We'll feed them half an apple on one side and half an apple on the other side, half a carrot on one side, half a carrot on the other side, so they've got time to like sort themselves out. So yeah, that's done for 5 days so they don't have to fight over food. The gestation of a water vole is 3 weeks, so if we're really lucky, we might see some babies within the next month or so.
Adult water voles that have come down here won't live much beyond the end of this summer, so they won't go back. But their progeny, and we're looking at, you know, if you want the analogy, you know, being the children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, the great-great-grandchildren, you know, will go back to restock the Kielder watershed.
So today we've been through our Juve sibling group and they've been brought in from the overwintering pens into here, the vole room. They'll be taken up to one of our release sites and then released into the wild.
The animals we bred here will go from here back up to Northumberland. They'll probably find, you know, ancient ancestral burrow systems in the banks of the peat-sided streams that we can't even see. They'll recolonise those, they'll breed up there, and then the populations will expand year on year. We've experience of doing this sort of thing before on the edge of the Highland Line in Scotland, and the response of the reintroduced population there has just been amazing. And it just shows you that this little animal, this kind of Ratty from Wind in the Willows, this kind of humble innocent that we thought he was, is actually capable of rapid re-expansion and recolonisation of its ancient ranges if we give it a chance to do so.